yes. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome into the live. Greetings and welcome. Today we're talking about the second axial age. How narcissistic abuse prepares you for the second axial age that is now here. Come on in. Welcome in. Come on in. Come on in. Welcome in. We're going deep today. Welcome in. Welcome to the live. Come on in. Welcome to the live. We're going deep today. We're talking about the second axial age. Why narcissistic abuse is the initiation and the mothership is the return. Yes, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Welcome in. Welcome to the mothership. Come on in. Welcome in. Well, today we're going deep. Talking about this mothership connection. We're talking about how narcissistic abuse has prepared you for the second axial age. Greetings to you. Peace be upon you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Welcome in. Come on in. The second axial age. Why narcissistic abuse is the initiation and the mothership is the return. We're going deep. So let me begin. Let me begin. Let me begin. We're about to go deep into this topic. Greetings, 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 greetings. Greetings. You see, if you want to understand how narcissistic abuse has prepared you for this present moment, this time, all these changes that are happening in the world, then you are in the right place. So first of all, what if narcissistic abuse is not just about personal trauma? What if the empath suffering inside narcissistic relationships, narcissistic friendships, workplaces, and narcissistic societies is actually revealing something much larger? What if the empath is you're not just recovering from narcissistic abuse? What if you're experiencing a planetary shift of consciousness? And what if the narcissistic or the narcissist is the dying world in intimate form? The narcissist represents the dying world in intimate form. And that is the reason why so many empaths, so many neurodivergent scapegoats, truth tellers, black sheeps, healers, and mystics are waking up right now. Are waking up right now. Do you see what I'm telling you? Waking up everywhere. You see? And what if the reason why we are all waking up this time is because we are entering another axial age? You see, about 2,500 years ago, humanity went through what philosopher Karl Jaspers called the axial age. And 2,500 years ago in the world, in India, in China, in Greece, and Hebrew prophetic traditions, the great spiritual and philosophical traditions emerged. The Buddha. Buddhism came 2,600 years ago. The Upanishads, Confucius, Lao Tzu, the Hebrew prophets. And you know, what are we? We're 2026, about 2,000 years after Christ. You understand? You see the timeline? Humanity began asking deeper questions. What is suffering? What is truth? What is the soul? What does it mean to be human? And today, those questions are returning. And they're not just abstract. They're happening inside the empath's body. They're happening inside the trauma bond. They're happening inside the nervous system after narcissistic abuse. And all of this is happening when the empath finally says, why did I lose myself trying to love someone who was never truly loving me? Why did I mistake manipulation for intimacy? Why did my sensitivity make me a target? Why did I feel like leaving them was a death? That's not just healing work, that's axial work. Because an axial age begins when the old center collapses. Who am I talking to? And for the empath, the narcissist was the false center, the false sun, the false god, the false axis. So today we're going deep. We're talking about why narcissistic abuse is one of the clearest personal expressions of the second axial age, and why empaths are not weak, but are emerging as the seers of the new age. Why the 60s with Sun Ra and Afrofuturism and so forth are all coming to the same truth, that the old world is collapsing because the false axis cannot hold, and the empath is being called back to the mothership. Now, let me talk about narcissistic abuse as the old world in intimate form. You see, narcissistic abuse is not simply a bad relationship. It is not merely emotional immaturity, nor is it only selfishness. It is a full architecture of domination. Narcissistic abuse is empire inside intimacy. It's the colonization inside the nervous system. It is propaganda inside the family. It's surveillance disguised as care. It is punishment disguised as silence. It is performance disguised as character. It is charm used as camouflage. It is gaslighting used as reality control. You see, it's domination over connection. It's entitlement over love. It's the worship of the false self. That's why narcissistic abuse feels so spiritually disoriented, because the empath is not only hurt, the empath is removed from reality. And the empath begins to doubt your own memory, doubt your own perception, doubt your body, doubt your goodness, doubt your right to exist without constantly serving someone else's wound. Who am I talking to? Somebody tell me. This is why narcissistic abuse is not only emotional abuse, it's epistemic abuse. It attacks what you know. It's ontological abuse. It attacks your sense of being. It is spiritual abuse. The narcissist, it becomes the false god of your life. Their mood becomes your climate. Their silence becomes your exile. Their chaos becomes your calendar. And because narcissistic abuse has become a counterfeit axis, and that your healing begins when that false axis breaks. You see, that's why leaving narcissistic abuse feels so terrifying, because you're not just leaving a person, you're leaving a world. You're leaving Egypt, you're leaving Babylon, you're leaving Rome, you're leaving Pharaoh, you're leaving a false cosmology that trained your nervous system to orbit someone else's ego. Am I talking to you? And because of axial age is what happens, right? When the center of meaning collapses and a new axis must emerge. So for the empath, narcissistic abuse is the collapse of the false center, and healing is the birth of the true axis. Now, as I said, 2,500 years ago, there was one axis, right? Now there's a new axis emerging. Now, because of people's resistance to AI, you're hearing all the kids, or I should say young people at commencement speeches booing AI. You see, empaths are targeted because empaths carry what narcissistic systems lack, which is depth, feeling conscious, relational intelligence, the capacity for repair, and so forth. And you know that the empath does not target the narcissist randomly. The empath does not attack the narcissist. The narcissist does not attack the empath randomly. The narcissist is drawn to the empath because the empath has the living water. The empath has life force. The empath has spiritual heat. Blessed is the man, chronics. You see, the empath has a nervous system capable of attunement. Am I talking to you? This is blessed is the man, Kabaka pyramid and chronics. Come on. Who am I talking to? Who am I talking to? Who am I talking to? Come on. Tell somebody to tell somebody. Because we're entering portals right now. We are entering portals. This is about the mothership connection to your truest self. Who am I talking to? You see, the empath has creative energy. The empath has a nervous system capable of attunement. But the unhealed empath makes a tragic mistake. Thank you so much. You see, the empath sees pain and assumes potential. The empath sees the wounded child and ignores the adult pattern. You see, the empath feels the soul and overlooks the character. This is why most of us got trapped in the spell. And let me say this again. Just because you can perceive someone's wounds does not mean you are assigned to heal it. Just because you can feel someone's potential does not mean that they have chosen transformation. And just because you can sense someone else's soul does not mean that your behavior is safe. Come on, who am I talking to? You see, some people are mirrors, not partners. Some people are teachers, not homes or companions. And for many empaths, the narcissist was not the love of your life. The narcissist was the end of your false life. The narcissist was not the love of your life. The narcissist was the end of your false life. And the narcissist came to reveal every place where compassion had become self-abandonment. Who am I talking to? If I'm talking to you, type transform. If I'm talking to you, type transform. I just want to know I'm talking to you. Because sometimes I talk to myself, you know, and that's okay. I like talking to myself. I like myself. But I want to know I'm talking to you. Before I keep going, I want to know I'm talking for you. I'm talking to you and talking for you. And if I'm not, let me know. Yes, Zanaya, big up Black Gold Creole. Zanaya, why couldn't you hear me? Nothing before it's time, right? Carl Williams, I want to know I'm talking to you. I want to know I'm talking to you. Worship Warrior Serena. I want to know I'm talking to you. Capona, Litzella, Lavana, 33. Thank you. I want to know I'm talking to you, Mary Claire. I want to know I'm talking to you, Pretty Motivated. I want to know I'm talking to you. Let me continue. You see, every place where your intuition had been overridden by hope. This is why the empath's awakening after narcissistic abuse is so parallel and powerful. Because once you, the empath, wake up, you do not merely leave the narcissist, you leave an entire operating system that made narcissistic abuse possible. Now, let me talk about the first axial age, and then I'm going to come and talk about the second axial age. Is that all right? You want to hear about this? Am I talking to you? You see, about 2,500 years ago, this is very important. This is the pièce de résistance. About 2,500 years ago, greetings. 2,500 years ago, humanity underwent a massive transformation. The great religious and philosophical traditions emerged during a period of crisis, complexity, empire, urbanization, moral instability, and existential questioning. 2,500 years ago. The old myths could no longer hold. The old rituals could no longer answer suffering. The old kings could no longer represent justice. The old gods or the old relationships to gods could no longer contain the human soul. So the sacred moved inward. That's why the Buddha asked, what is suffering? And how does suffering end? That's why the Upanishadic sages asked, what is the self beneath the self? 2,500 years ago. 100 years ago is why Confucius asked, how do we create ethical order? 2,500 years ago, approximately, is where Lao Tzu said, how do we return to the way? Are you seeing the trend? Around the same time, the Greeks were asking, what is truth? What is virtue? What is morality? And now the empath is going through the same thing internally. Greetings. The empath begins with a world disorganized around the narcissist. Then the suffering becomes unbearable. Then the empath begins to question reality. Why am I suffering? Why am I attached? Why do I crave the return of someone who harms me? Why does my body mistake danger for love? Why does abandonment feel like death? Why do I feel responsible for someone's emptiness, right? These are Buddhist questions. These are existential questions. Because the empath is not only asking, how do I get over narcissists? The empath is, who am I without the false God? Come on now. The empath is asking, who am I without the trauma bond? Who am I without the role of being the rescuer? Who am I without proving my worth through suffering? Who am I when I stop orbiting someone else's wound? Who am I when I stop orbiting someone else? This is the birth of an axial empath. Now, let me give you the proof that we are in a second axial age, just like we were 2,500 years ago. This is the larger claim. And not because I want to sound poetic, because the pattern is repeating on a higher scale. The first axial age happened 2,500 years ago when societies became too complex for the old symbolic systems to work. Today, our world has become too complex for old consciousness. Who am I talking to? Come on now. This is the pièce de résistance. Today, our world has become too complex for old consciousness. Am I talking to you? For example, artificial intelligence is transforming what we mean by intelligence, what we mean by creativity, what we mean by truth, what we mean by authorship, labor, even personhood. Biotechnology is transforming what we mean by life, what we mean by inheritance, what we mean by disease, birth, and human design. Climate crisis is transforming what we mean by nature, what we mean by survival, what we mean by migration, what we mean by economy, what we mean by planetary responsibility. Social media is transforming identity, attention, sexuality, politics, childhood, comparison, envy, emotional regulation. Trauma theory is transforming what we mean by memory, body, family, history, and healing. Neuroscience is transforming what we mean by selfhood, what we mean by emotion, perception, and consciousness. Psychedelic science is reopening questions about mystical experience, about ego death and healing. And narcissistic abuse recovery is transforming what we mean by love, family, attachment, loyalty, forgiveness, and selfhood. Who am I talking to? And this is why Noema magazine's discussion of a new axial age matters. And I love reading Noema magazine, Noema. Noema has argued that science, technology, artificial intelligence, ecological crisis, and planetary instability are resurrecting the religious imagination and forcing humanity into a deeper philosophical reckoning. Did you hear me? You see how many young people are going back to the church? Noema magazine has argued that science, let me say it again, technology, artificial intelligence, ecological crises, and planetary instability are resurrecting religious imagination and forcing humanity into a deeper philosophical reckoning. That's exactly what is happening. Humanity now has godlike tools, but still carries wounded consciousness. Who am I talking to, Sapphire? We can split atoms. We can edit genes. We can build artificial intelligence. We can engineer attention. We can simulate reality. But can we love? Can we tell the truth? Can we regulate our nervous systems? Can we stop worshiping domination? Can we stop confusing control with safety? Can we stop building outer power while remaining inwardly fragmented? This is the second axial age. This is the second axial age. The crisis is not only technological, it is spiritual. Come on, look around you. It is psychological. The crisis is not only ecological, it is relational. That's why we are in a loneliness epidemic, according to the Surgeon General. The crisis is not only social, the crisis is never systemic. And narcissistic abuse is the intimate face of that global crisis. Oh, did somebody hear what I just said? Narcissistic abuse is the intimate face of that global crisis of self. Because the narcissist is what happens when intelligence, charm, power, and survival and instinct exist without conscience, empathy, or truth. That's the danger of the age. And a civilization with narcissistic consciousness and godlike tendencies in the narcissistic family can destroy itself. So the empath awakening is not peripheral, it is central because the empath represents the return of conscience. Come on. The empath, I need the return of the G by Outcast. Do you see? This is the return of conscience. This is the return of conscience. This is the return of conscience. This is the return of the G, Outcast. Come on. This is the return of conscience. A civilization with narcissistic and godlike technology in the family can destroy itself. So the empath awakening is not peripheral. The return of the man. It is central because the empath represents the return of conscience. Like Outcast is talking about, it's the return of the G. Come on. It's the return of the. Come on. What? Who am I talking to? The empath awakening is not peripheral. It is central because the empath return represents the return of conscience, like the return of the G, Outcast. Come on. Get down. Come on. Come on. You hear that? All the smear campaigns. Get down. You see through the narcissists, you hear me? Come on. Get down. Say that to the narcissist in your life. Get down. It's the return of the gangster. Come on. The spiritual gangsters have returned. You see? Come on, big boy. Kick back when my head is on. Come on now. The empath as the new axial figure. Every axial age produces new archetypes. The first axial age produced the monks, the prophets, the philosophers. That's 2,500 years ago. Those who could see beyond the tribe, those who could confront the king. The second axial age is producing the empathic seer, the trauma literate mystic, the neurodivergent pattern reader, the embodied healer, the spiritual technologist, the nervous system prophet, the survivor who becomes a guide, the one who can see domination not just in society but in intimacy, the one who can detect empire in a family shitstorm, the one who can sense extraction in a spiritual community. Who am I talking to? The one who can feel manipulation beyond and beneath the charm. The one who can tell the difference between love and energetic feeding. Come on, tell me I'm talking to you. Who am I talking to? The empath feels what the culture denies. The empath feels what the culture denies. The empath feels the grief and the productivity. The empath feels the violence and the politeness. The empath feels the loneliness and the success. Come on, somebody tell me I am spieling to you. I want to know I'm spieling to I and I. Let me know I'm talking to you as we become together. Come on. I love this chick. This is becoming her at the glow frequency. Come on now. The empath feels the violence under the politeness. The empath feels the deadness under performance. The empath feels the fear under control. The empath feels the wound under the narcissism. But now the empath must evolve. The old empath absorbed everything, but the new empath discerns everything. The old empath rescued, but the new empath witnesses. Come on, someone tell me I'm speaking to thou. The old empath confused compassion with access, but the new empath understands that love requires boundaries. Something is shifting, tell them, low frequency. Oh, Lord. Oh, Buddha. Oh, Bismillah. Come on, the old empath tried to be chosen, but the new empath chooses truth. The old empath tried to prove goodness, but the new empath embodies sovereignty. The old empath saw potential, the new empath requires evidence. Because the empath is no longer here to be consumed. The empath is here to be coherent. Now we must speak about neurodivergence. Am I talking to you? Who am I talking to? The old one looked at neurodivergence and said, you are too much, you're too sensitive, you're too intense, you're too strange, you're too emotional, you're too difficult. But what if the world were told to ask, to adapt to what was spiritually diseased? What if the neurodivergent empath is not simply disordered? What if the neurodivergent is incompatible with artificiality, incompatible with dishonesty, incompatible with overstimulation, incompatible with empty performance, incompatible with dead systems? Come on. Who am I talking to? Somebody tell me. Am I reaching you today? The empath, the neurodivergent, is the one who notices patterns and becomes the systems thinker. The one who felt overwhelmed by noise and becomes the guardian of silence. The one who could sense danger before others and can name it before the field can diagnostically see it. The one. Because narcissistic systems rely on performance. But your spirit knows, and in the second AXIAL age, knowing becomes sacred technology. You see? Now think about what happened in the 60s. They almost did it in the 60s. The 60s were a preview of the second AXIAL age because there was civil rights. There was Black liberation. There were anti-war movements, feminism, environmentalism, psychedelic exploration. Woo! Come on. Woo! This is the glow frequency, blooming season. We are in blooming season. This is the blooming season. Come on. Before I go on, who am I talking to? Come on. This is blooming season by the glow frequency. Woo! Come on. Woo! Come on. What? Blooming season by the glow frequency. Come on. Hey! What? Come on. You see? Let me tell you the information. Come on, give thanks. We give thanks. You understand? To I. Yes, I am. This is the glow frequency, becoming hair. Woo! Oh no, the blooming season. Glow frequency. So you see, Let me keep going. In the 60s, Black liberation, feminism, Eastern spirituality started to enter Western consciousness. You remember the Beatles with Maharishi and all that? Meditation with transcendental meditation and yoga, experimental music and Jimi Hendrix, new mythologies and Sun Ra, new forms of rebellion, the old world cracked. And through that crack came the sound of Coltrane, John Coltrane, the sound of Alice Coltrane, the sounds of Nina Simone, the sounds of Marvin Gaye, the sounds of Parliament Funkadelic. I need some Sun Ra up in here. This is where we're entering Sun Ra territory. So I need to summon. I need to summon. I need some Sun Ra up in here right now. Let's change the frequency to some Sun Ra. Ooh. Sun Ra, door of the cosmos. Is that where we're going? You see, that was the whole point. Sun Ra was not just a musician. This is Sun Ra, Saturn. Saturn by Sun Ra. Sun Ra was a metaphysical architect. Sun Ra understood that oppressed people do not only need a new policy, they need a new cosmology, a new reality, a way to exit the psychic prison of the world that made them inferior. That's why Sun Ra matters so deeply for empaths escaping narcissistic abuse. You see, because narcissistic abuse traps you in someone else's cosmology. Come on, who's with me? Stay with me. And the narcissist defines your world, defines your motives. You get me? The narcissist tries to define your world, defines your work, defines your role. And you can escape that. But you need more than a boundary. You need a new universe, and that is the mothership. The mothership is the higher field that retrieves the empath from the narcissist's false world. The mothership says you're not crazy. You were gaslit. You're not too sensitive. You're seeing correctly. You're not broken. You are adapting to broken systems. You're not abandoned. You're being summoned. The mothership is the nervous system coming back online. You got it, J Boogie. The mothership is the ancestor ship. The mothership is the Dharma vehicle, the inner refuge. You see what I'm saying to you? That's the whole point, the inner refuge. That's how I feel, Sun Ra. I need this one. That's how I feel. This is how I feel by Sun Ra. You see, the mothership is the inner refuge. The mothership is the field of no resonance where the narcissist can no longer enter. You see, only a special person will even be open to listening to this kind of music. That is the exit, not escapism. It is leaving a false frequency. And leaving the false frequency so you can board the mothership. That's how I feel, Sun Ra. The empath, you may think that your healing is private, but your healing is not private. Every empath who breaks a trauma bond weakens the old world. Woo! That's how I feel, Sun Ra. Woo! Sun Ra! Come on! You see, every empath who stops calling chaos chemistry weakens the religion of dysfunction. This is Sun Ra. That's how I feel. Every empath who stops rescuing narcissists ends the economy of emotional extraction. Every empath who stops murdering the abuser breaks an ancestral spell. Did you hear that? That's a spell being broken. Every empath who stops confusing forgiveness with reconciliation, you see, restores spiritual law. Every empath who returns to the body becomes less available to manipulation. Voila! You understand? Every empath who chooses peace over performance becomes evidence of the new earth, the new civilization. Come on, Sunra. All respect you. Come on. You see, that's why narcissistic abuse recovery is not small. Recovering from narcissistic abuse is the personal version of a planetary revolution. Recovering from narcissistic abuse is your personal version of a planetary revolution. Did you see what happened over there? Did you see that, Love My Italian? Do you see? You see, the old one is narcissistic. It rewards image, it rewards distortion, it rewards manipulation. So when the empath heals, the empath becomes incompatible with the old economy because the empath stops feeding the vampire. The empath stops clapping for the false kings in the family. The empath stops confusing charisma with character. The empath stops confusing attention with love. You see, and the empath becomes dangerous, not violent, because the empath becomes clear. Because the empath knows that they're no longer programmable. And your nervous system has stopped worshiping the false god. Whether it was your wife, or your mother, or your father, whoever that was. And you're dangerous because you can see. And in a narcissistic age, seeing is revolutionary, you know? This is what it is. So let me stop here. Maybe we'll go into part 2 on Friday, right? We're going to part 2 on Friday. This second actual age. This is a lot here. Who am I talking to? If I'm talking to you and this is connected, type transform. I want to know who I'm talking to. And let me know which city you're coming in from. Which city are you connected to the mothership from? You understand? You see, which city are you connected from? Which mothership are you connected from? Where I going? Where are you coming from? Maybe we need some Vibes Cartel to end some Vibes Cartel, right? Yeah. God in time, like he said, right? So that's what it is. Yeah. Vibes Cartel. Vibes Cartel, God in time. Phoenix. Yeah, this is Vibes Cartel, God in time. Yeah, Tanzania, Belgium, Montreal, West Virginia, Staten Island. What up, Staten Island? Atlanta, Lafayette, Hamden, Tucson, New York. Yes, Ajax. Beautiful, UK, Phoenix, Joburg, Hershey, Canada, Bay Area, New York, One Love, Joburg, Amarillo, Texas, what it is, Trenton, New Jersey, UK, Toronto. What's up? This is Vibes Cartel, God in Time. God in Time, Vibes Cartel, you understand? So that's what it is. Vibes Cartel is an empath who had to go and deal with his narcissistic vibes. And he came out an empath talking about God in Time. You hear me? Yeah, man. Yeah, God in Time. That's Vibes Cartel. You know, Jamaica's own Vibes Cartel. Yes. Blessed love, Saran. Yeah. Yeah, blessed love, yeah. See you back here on Wednesday, yeah? Thank you so much. If you want to find the truth and connect to the truth, you can find me on innermileage.com everywhere. Yeah. We're gonna have 2 lives this week, today and Wednesday, and then I'll be going on a retreat. So no lives for about a week, and then the lives will be the last week of June, yes? So anyway, sending you love. You can find me at innermileage.com if you want to know the truth. Just book a free session with me. at innermileage.com. You can also send me an email at nana@innermileage.com. Yes, everything Inner Mileage everywhere. You can also check out my course, Escaping Narcissistic Abuse, at innermileage.com. And stay tuned for more information on an upcoming masterclass during the Lionsgate week on escaping narcissistic abuse. Yeah, just send me an email. Just send me an email or book a free session with me. Yes, yeah. So this is what it is. Thank you so much for tuning in. Right? Yeah, tuning in. Unless anyone has a question, right? Thank you so much. Right? Anybody getting younger yet? Yeah. You just got to clean the inside, or you start feeling good. Right? That's what it is. Right? Your cells are listening. That's the saying goes. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. See you on Wednesday. Yes. One love, one love, one love. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.